Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 8 Japanese cruiser Mogami. It has 15 main guns, 8 secondary guns, 50 AA guns, 16 torpedoes, a top speed of 35 knots, total health 39,100. For my modules, reduce crit chance on main battery, increase AA range, reduce flood and fire chance, faster rudder shift. And for my commander, situational awareness, basic survivability, basic firing training, faster turret traverse, lower chance of fire, lower cooldown on damage control, and advanced firing training. We are on the map Two Brothers. This is a really good game. Everyone just sit back and enjoy the 155mm Mogami. Never gonna get rid of this. Never. I love this ship. Now, there's 4 enemy destroyers. What does that say? That says that they're probably gonna be aggressive on both the western and the eastern flank. There's just so many of them. So I figure that there'll probably be an enemy destroyer trying to push into the island chain in the eastern half. They will try and get in a position where they can torpedo me. And I like to be aggressive. Sometimes on this map, a US cruiser, for instance, the other class that I really enjoy, you will have terrible detection, almost 1-to-1 with your range, and your range is greater than the length of this eastern flank. So you are basically detected as you come around this island. And you don't get a real read on the situation because it could be a battleship that could be detecting you. Some battleship detections are better than, say, the Pensacola or the New Orleans. They're just so huge, right? So I don't get a lot of read. This Colorado definitely isn't the one who spotted me. It has to be a ship that's closer than 13 kilometers. So what could that be? That could be a destroyer. That could be a smaller Japanese cruiser, but it really can't be anything else other than that. I haven't fired on the enemy, obviously. Firing extends your detection by 2 kilometers straight up for, I believe, 10 seconds, maybe 15. Not 100% on that. Of course, I've got backup behind me, but that's not really the ideal scenario. If you were focused down, I'm looking for the destroyer, quite honestly. I know he's here. Yep, there he is. He is a Tier 5 Japanese destroyer, and he makes a critical mistake. He runs into the island. So we basically fire at the waterline with HE. He's barely alive. Our rate of fire should allow us to get this kill, and we're going to fire on this guy. And someone sneaks in and takes it. That's okay. It was an easy kill, and we did 8k to the guy. Obviously, torpedoes. One thing about the patch, I think they've made torpedoes and the launching of them a little bit more obvious. I want to say it's back to what it was in closed beta. In closed beta, you would see the torpedoes being launched from the ship, and you would see the splashes every single time, unless they were obviously invisible. And you could read the situation, and that's generally how I produced my tactics that have allowed me to survive a lot more torpedo strikes than probably the average player. So definitely pay attention to that the next time you're zoomed in on a ship. If they're broadside, if they're a Japanese cruiser, destroyers, you name it, hell, even a Tirpitz, which thankfully North American isn't dealing with the insane amount of Tier 8 Tirpitz battleships. I don't really think that's good. I don't know why everyone wants to play just that ship. But soon we'll have to deal with it. But now our Tier 8, 9, and 10 is actually balanced with more than one ship. And we got this Colorado. He's burning down. We want to spread the fire. We want to do as much damage as we can by getting the HE to land on the superstructure, because that's where we get all the damage. And you can see we're just decimating this Colorado. He's trying to maneuver, but we've done this more times than we want to admit. So we know exactly where to aim whenever they're maneuvering. And we maneuver to counter the AP he fired. His friendly Colorado actually gets in the way. It absorbs a lot of those shots. And we're able to finish him off. Good. The enemy Colorado is now sailing in the path of our torpedoes. An enemy destroyer sent out torpedoes, but we are able to maneuver out of the way. We'll see if the enemy Colorado can maneuver out of the way of the torpedoes. Right now, it doesn't look like he's interested in doing that. We were completely visible, so anyone who was observing my ship could see that the torpedoes hit the water, both with the splashes and the torpedoes actually exiting their tubes, so it would be really easy to avoid this if you were paying attention. Clearly, he was not paying attention. He didn't maneuver. We killed him with the torpedoes, and that's exactly what you want to do in your Japanese cruisers. Get close enough that you can kill a battleship, but maintain an angle so it's hard for them to penetrate your armor. Now we know there was an enemy destroyer in the area, and for some reason, there's a North Carolina at the edge of the map not doing anything for his team. I just completely disagree with this playstyle. I think as a battleship, you need to be able to tank some of the damage that your team would ultimately take. And this is basically throwing the game away with the top tier ship being off on his own. But we're not going to let him exist there. We're going to take advantage of him. We know how angling works. We're going to get right on that guy and destroy him. I was concerned about the Mutsuki. I wanted to see if my friendly Mogami could take care of him. I'm rotating my guns just in case. If the Mogami doesn't kill him, I'll be in a position to destroy the Mutsuki. I still need to kill the enemy destroyer and that North Carolina, obviously in the southeast side, and that is definitely the objective. But obviously, the Mutsuki, he's right next to us, he's spotted. Why not try and kill him to help my team? And it looks like the Mogami, yes, good. The Mogami is successful in destroying the Mutsuki, and he's going to capture or attempt to capture B. We are spotted. Clearly, there's nothing in range that could spot us. We have not fired, so the enemy destroyer is somewhere in front of us. It probably has a detection of 6.8 kilometers. Yep. 6.8, that's right around where they would be with the... Oh, he chose... Why would you choose accuracy? Don't understand that, but we're going to take him out. Apparently, he was trying to back up because he rethought his initial strategy of going back to the base. Yeah, this is not a good situation for you. I've knocked your modules out twice. You are basically dead in the water. You're backing up too, which is terrible. He's going to try and use his torpedoes at some point. It looks like they're still in the tube, and we're just waiting to see that animation. Yep, there you go. You see that animation? Plain as day that he sent out his torpedoes. All stop on our engines, and we're going to turn left. And they safely pass by as we destroy his destroyer. Obviously, we took advantage of all the information available to us right there. You could also be presented with the same scenario and also make the same maneuver based on the information. Everyone can see the same things that I'm seeing. You just need to make sure that you understand the situation and read it accordingly. If I wasn't zoomed in, if I wasn't aware that he might have torpedoes back up, I probably would have overlooked the potential threat. And maybe I would have died. But I didn't, because I knew that's what he wanted to do. Now with the North Carolina, I don't have to worry about torpedoes at all. In fact, I can use my torpedoes. Unfortunately, he's pretty fast. 28, 29 knots. So he's going to try and move away, and he's already ahead of me in the direction he's going, so I can't bring my butt torpedoes around to use them. So we're just going to do the next best thing. Use HE on his superstructure, set him on fire, and just annihilate him with the damage output we can do. And you really want to get your HE to land on all that superstructure on the top. Kill the AA guns, take out any secondaries, try and spread the fire around his deck. Now we're pretty close to the North Carolina. You could use AP. I wouldn't recommend it with 155mm guns. The AP bonus is very tiny in comparison to, say, a battleship gun that has a much larger caliber. You really want to just set them on fire and overwhelm them with the fire damage between HE and the fires that you set. We get high caliber. Again, we do 5k a salvo, and we should kill this guy. He did use damage control, so he was immune to the last fire we tried to set, but it doesn't matter. He's dead. See you later, North Carolina. All the enemy has left is a enemy cruiser and an enemy destroyer, and it looks like, yes, we were able to take out that enemy cruiser. It's all on you, enemy destroyer. And this was a fast game. We're barely 10 minutes over, and it's just done. It's been decided. We rolled through the enemy, 4 kills, and we almost got a 5th kill, obviously, on that destroyer. But hey, that's not important. What's important is we got to show you how awesome the Mogami is once again. It doesn't matter what ship class you run up against, she feels comfortable against them all. Destroyers, cruisers, battleships, aircraft carriers, she can defeat it all in the right hands, and clearly, I've got a handle on this ship. You know, I know one or two things about it. I hope you can learn from these games and use some of these skills that I have showcased in my replays. They definitely are universal for this ship in particular. Angling, pushing the flank, going after destroyers, and using your HE to the greatest effect on battleship superstructures. Again, 4 kills, high caliber, tons of base XP, 2,453. No one is close on either side. It's just me imposing my will and helping my team win. We did around 130k damage between all sources. It was just an awesome game. I love this game. I love this ship. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you next time.